Yep, that's right. Transit is coming back, and it is basically all but confirmed at this point, with the small little teaser in the Black Ops 7 reveal trailer, and now this ridiculous intel in The Reckoning. It's basically confirmed that Transit will be coming back in Black Ops 7, but at this point, it just remains the question of how will Transit be returning? Is it going to be a full-on faithful remaster, or is it going to follow along more like a Black Ops 4 remake? So stick around for the rest of the video. We are going to be discussing this topic because do we even want Transit back? Now, in the Reckoning boss fight, you can actually find this piece of intel, which essentially just confirms that Transit is returning. It is Panos talking to his random little guy in his head about literally locations that are on the Transit map. Listen to this intel very closely, and I bet you can pick out exactly what I'm talking about.
The voice spoke to me again. The great voice from beyond. My friend. It guided me through a dream state more lucid than any I have ever known. It was more than transcendental. It was transformative. I saw through the mist and fog. My gaze did not linger upon the foul wretches that wandered in search of prey. I looked upon the sprawling landscape beyond. Though this place was shrouded by darkness and tainted by trauma, I saw lights. I saw brightness. From the fields, I glimpsed a farmhouse, a sunken town, rustic and ravaged by age. A cabin overlooking the inky black water of a lake, and a pyramid somehow floating in the distance. A single tower still stood tall. Though I was alone, I knew no fear as I walked across this unfamiliar realm. When I felt a yawning hunger deep in my belly, the voice guided me towards a place of nourishment. My eyes feasted upon its saturated colors, and my appetite was swiftly sated. My thirst was soon quenched. I knew for sure this was so much more than a mere dream when I read the sign. My friend confidently issued a solemn promise. This land that once was will be restored, as will I.
So there you have it, from mentions of the fog to foul wretches within the fog, which obviously refers to denizens, a sprawling landscape, fields, a farmhouse, a rustic town, a cabin. All of these are elements from Transit, and it's basically confirmed at this point that we are going to be seeing Transit. Now, the Ghost of Hope on Twitter talked recently that this was more of a Transit remaster, a faithful remaster, than it is a remake, a Black Ops 4 type remake where they change many elements of the map and design. But I think this intel actually really goes against that thought. So Panos also mentions, along with all these familiar aspects, he mentions a lake and a floating pyramid. So these things are obviously two aspects that we did not see on Transit. A murky lake, which sounds completely new, and a floating pyramid, which could refer to a couple of things. Potentially the MPD is back within the Dark Aether, very possible considering we're resurrecting literally everything in this damn story at this point. But this could also be referring to the Construct from Vanguard Zombies, which was this big floating upside down rocky type pyramid looking thing, which seemed important at the time but hasn't been mentioned since. So it's very likely that that could be actually coming into play finally, because it didn't come into play in Black Ops 6, which it definitely should have. But maybe they're finally going to be bringing up that now. But the question I really want to be asking in this video is, do we want Transit back? Do we want Transit to return in Black Ops 7? Because it feels like just yesterday that I was remembering everybody complaining about remakes and zombies. During Black Ops 4's life cycle, it was endless, constant complaints about reusing assets, reusing maps, that Treyarch was bankrupt of ideas, that they couldn't come up with anything original because all of the Aether maps in that game were remakes and remasters. and everyone was complaining about it at the time. And then came Cold War with the reuse of Nocturne Toten in D Machine, and again everyone was saying Treyarch's lazy, not using new assets, reusing assets. Then there was all the campaign assets reused in Cold War Zombies, and finally we get to Black Ops 6, which is mostly, to my knowledge, all original Zombies maps, which have all been pretty well received. But now we're going into Black Ops 7, back to remakes. Is this really what we want? I'm seeing a lot of people get really hyped over this, but at the same time, I can't help but think it's not going to be long before people are going to start saying, oh, reused assets, we hate remasters, we hate remakes, again and again. It all comes back. It's the COD cycle, baby. But let's talk about Transit itself. Now, let's keep in mind that Transit is the most hated Zombies map of all time. Okay, some of you might be too young or started playing Zombies too late to even be there when Transit came out. But Transit was so hated that people quit Zombies. People hated Black Ops 2 Zombies for Transit. Hell, Transit was so bad, it got the man who made it fired. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration. He made Die Rise after that, but I'm pretty sure that he is not the one who made Buried. It is highly rumored that Vonderhaar, the multiplayer dev, is actually the one who took the lead on Buried, which I find is so funny. So we have a run on Zombies that was so poorly received, so universally hated, that the man who created it was absolutely fired from the studio, replaced by Jason Blundell. I mean, just go back and look at the hate from the time. You'll see huge YouTubers absolutely hating on Transit, saying it's the worst Zombies map ever made. And I would say even up until things like Infinite Warfare Zombies, World War II Zombies, Vanguard, until maps like those came out, Transit was still universally considered the very worst Zombies map of all time. So I find it very interesting to see this kind of community turnaround to where we're actually like really excited to see Transit come back. I don't know if it's like an irony thing or a situation where we just want to see it be better, see what Treyarch can do to improve the map. But considering this intel, it looks like we're getting Fog and Denizens back, right? Which are fundamentally the two worst parts of Transit. So have Treyarch learned their lesson? I'm not so sure. So what do I think Transit actually needs in Black Ops 7 to be a good map? Let's talk about it. First off, a new Pack-a-Punch system. If you've ever played Transit, you know that the Pack-a-Punch in Transit is horrible. You have to build a turbine and place it in one little spot near the power and hope to God that a zombie doesn't destroy it by the time you can make it to town and go access the Pack-a-Punch, or else you have to do it all over again. Now, given how soft Zombies is nowadays, I don't expect Treyarch to make Pack-a-Punch that bad ever again. In fact, if we're lucky, the Pack-a-Punch system will be anything more complicated than turn on the power, boom, you have Pack-a-Punch, which has basically been in every single Black Ops 6 map up until this point. So I think it's a given now that Pack-a-Punch is going to be easy to solve and will just stay there for the rest of the game, just like Black Ops 6. And while I do like a bit more of a complicated Pack-a-Punch setup, even the simple Black Ops 6 system is a huge improvement over Transit. Next up, we need a really cool jet gun upgrade or just a brand new unique wonder weapon. Treyarch kind of gave away their hand with giving us the jet gun so early in Black Ops 6. So if they're going to bring it back for Transit again, they have to fundamentally change it. Give it new abilities, give it cool upgrades. Hell, give it 4 elemental upgrades so each player can have it. Make it something like that. Make it interesting. Other than that, just give us a new wonder weapon. That's also fine. Just because it's a Transit remake doesn't mean the jet gun has to be there, in my opinion, especially considering we just had it in Liberty Falls. Or if anything, just make it a tertiary wonder weapon, kind of like how on Shattered Veil, the Wonder Waff was there, but it wasn't the main wonder weapon in the map. That would be fine if they treated the jet gun like that on Transit. Next up, we need better fast travel. We love the bus is cool, and the teleporters on Transit were cool, but we need a better, more permanent, and more predictable fast travel, because Transit is huge, and if we have to navigate it like we did in Black Ops 2, that is not going to fly in 2025, okay? Make us use the bus to open up the map initially, that first map progression, but after that, let us open up teleporters and let them be permanent and let the routes be actually predictable. That will make the map so much better and make the flow so much easier. Next, we need some Black Ops 4 inspired map expansions and changes to the map. I'm confident that they are going to do this given the intel we just got, but please go all out on us. Give us a ton of new areas to explore and give us the elusive Bus Route B that we've all been looking for since Transit came out in 2012. Next, we need an awesome Easter egg, similar to what we got in The Reckoning. Make it difficult to solve, a nice long solve, like an 8-hour long solve like we had with Reckoning. That was so much fun and such a great Easter egg hunt. But after that, make the steps easy to actually replicate, and I think those are the best kind of Easter eggs. Ones that are hard to solve, difficult to understand, but once you get it down pat and once they're actually solved, they're easy to replicate and easy to speedrun, which makes them so much fun to complete on repeat tries. And then after that, take some more notes out of The Reckoning. Do the alternate quest endings, do multiple boss fights, multiple cutscenes. That stuff is really cool, and I hope we see that again. That can be also inspired from the original Transit with the 2 different sides of the Easter eggs with Richthofen and Maxis. Bring that sort of stuff back because that is really cool. Finally, lean into that Dark Aether aesthetic. It is so good, and the best parts of both Cold War and Black Ops 6 have been when Treyarch just went all out with the art style and leaned into that awesome Dark Aether aesthetic. The Tomb, despite its flaws, is one of my favorite maps in Black Ops 6, simply because of its incredible art direction. I love how that map looks. So if we can lean into some of that in the Transit Dark Aether remake, I think we got a winner on our hands. But with that, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are you excited for the Transit remake, or are you a little bit cautious given how Black Ops 6 just ended? If you're curious on my thoughts on how Black Ops 6 just ended, check out my last video on the end cutscenes. Other than that, I will see you very soon. Remember to like and subscribe.